Welcome to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things West Indies cricket. By the fans, for the fans. Yes, people, I'm here. I'm out here. I'm in the ends. I've come back from my football. I was interviewing a football manager, but I'm here now. I'm back here to do some West Indies live watch-along content. Big up anybody who's been waiting. Big up anybody who's in the chat right now. What's the score? India are 104 for 4. I was about to go live 3 minutes earlier, but the reason why I didn't was because Joseph had just got a wicket. And so I was just watching all that instead. And so I kind of delayed coming on live. I actually think Joseph hasn't bowled well at all today. Yes, he's bowled with pace. Yes, he's bowled with a bit of aggression. But I think sometimes how Alzari loses his head a bit. And I feel that with some of Alzari's deliveries, he's banged them in short, but that's not bowling to the situation. I feel like he's felt that he can outblast some of these Indian batters, and I think he should have just bowled a bit more intelligently. Utilize some Yorkers, etc. This kind of fast bowling outside off stump has been found out. But anyways, he managed to get Pandya out, so it's another wicket, So we have to. We have to give thanks. Yeah, let me bring some comments in. Yeah, big up Orim. Good to see you here. And who's back into the attack? So Kemo Paul's back into the attack for his second over, and he bowls a wide with his second ball of his second over. His first over was rubbish, He was lucky to get a wicket at the end of that. Michael says, why are we watching this dead match when Barbados is playing? Yeah, but the Barbados match doesn't start until 6 o'clock. Unless I'm mistaken, that match starts at 6. So I'm planning to watch both, Michael. So what are you watching? Wait, was that a replay? Oh my God. See that delivery from Kemo there? That was oh my God. Anyways, that was awful. What was that? A slower ball. Anyways, it's another wide, so you have to reload that one as well. Yeah, Orin, thank you. So those of you who maybe haven't listened to the episode yet, go to 99.94. Sorry, West Indies on 99.94, Spotify, Apple, wherever you find your podcast, etc. We are moving all of our content. And yep, Rohit's going to get a boundary. No. Man comes in off the boundary, and that's one run. We've moved all of our I was about to say we've moved all of our content over there. We haven't. What's basically happened is Jared Kimber, who runs 99.94. Michael, I want to talk to you about that. I'm planning. Sorry, people, I'll come back to 99.94 in a minute. Michael, I'm planning to go to Barbados versus India next Wednesday. What are you saying? You going to that match or not? I'm just trying to work out how I'm going to do it. Am I going to come down from London to Birmingham all back in one day or not? I wanted to do Barbados versus Australia, but that's on Sunday. And there's rail strikes on that day, so there's no point. So Barbados, India is my flex next Wednesday. Gotta go big up the women then, and hope they do the Caribbean proud. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, Nashike, I'll find out about that. I'm not too up to date with the app situation. Do you want me to do you not want me to let me send a message to Jared whilst I'm not doing this live? 1 second, Nashike, let me get the answer for you. Jared, I'm doing a live watch along right now for West Indies versus India. So I'm doing a pitch for 99.94. Anyways, I've just had a question which says, is the app available only in select geographies? What do you want me to say to people about the app? See, caught that there, me having a conversation. Yeah, Orin's right. The app isn't actually fully functionable yet. That's like the last thing to get done. So to be fair, I wouldn't be using the app just yet until it's at full functionability. I would, if I was you, I would just, for the moment, listen to, oh, that's awful from Chemo. That's rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. Full toss, and can't bowl full toss to Rohit Sharma when he's already on 50 odd not out. And Rohit smashes that through the covers for 4. India moved to 113 for 4 with 1 ball to go of the 13th over. So just search 99.94 DM. It's on Spotify, and I've just got a message saying it's on Apple, so it'll be going on all the different podcast platforms. If you've listened, has anyone listened to the episode yet? It was like an intro episode, just kind of talking about what we're going to be doing and so on and so forth. But in a nutshell, what's going to happen is 3 times a week, most likely Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're going to be able to hear like 20 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on what we're talking about, content on West Indies. So I guess in essence, it's extrapolating what we might tweet about and actually talking about it in detail 3 different times a week. Obviously, we'll have guests and so on and so forth. So with the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, if you think about it, our podcast episodes happen, if we're doing them properly, they happen once every 2 weeks. Sometimes they happen once a month because 1, we're lazy, and 2, we just do what we want to do. Obviously we do like cussouts on YouTube and so on and so forth. So basically 99.94 is a way for us to be more professional on a more regular basis on a particular platform. So anything you want West Indies, head over there. And then our actual podcast, Caribbean Cricket Podcast, will still be for like, you know, our kind of usual hour-long episodes and so on and so forth. So yeah, look out for that. In terms of the next long episode, I'm trying to get oh no, it's managed to stop that. So Smith manages to turn Jadeda inside out, but the man on he still manages to get 2 runs for that. Akil nearly let that roll for 4, but he did not, and he limits it to 2. Yeah, Anchal, is Rohit playing a gem of an innings? Yes and no, because I actually think that Rohit's got some bad deliveries, and Rohit's a world-class batter, so he's taken advantage of that. I don't think it's like some fantastical, oh, this is Rohit Sharma in his pomp type innings. It's just that some of our stuff has been dreadful. Yeah, Orim, you've hit the nail on the head. 99.94 will be day-to-day topical, what's in the news, West Indies stuff. CCP will be any kind of long-form, in-depth interview. So Kamal Roach, for example, we have a long-form, Korea-based interview coming up with him. That's for CCP. Evan Lewis refusing to play for West Indies. That's for 99.94. It's things like that. Yeah, so it's back to this match. Let me update the score for those of you who've just come in. Obviously, as usual, people tell a friend to tell a friend. Let me edit the score. So India are... What is the score? Sorry, the screen's gone off. Yeah, look how many, those who are watching on the screen, look how many deliveries have been wide outside the off stump to Rohit. A world-class batsman is going to deal with that. I just don't think there haven't been enough deliveries at Rohit that have asked him any serious questions. Irrespective of what the track is saying, I think some of the bowling to him has been shoddy. And Jadeda slaps that, and that's a 4. Oldine Smith again, that's in the slot for Jadeda. Yes, Jadeda has to pull it through leg, but for someone the class of Jadeda, that's an easy 4. India are 119 for 4. Yeah, Orin, I gave him a bad rap, but he deserves it. Evans moving immature, man, so he deserves it. Why are we playing 1 spinner? Yeah, that's going to come back to haunt us. But even if we were playing more than 1 spinner, India playing 3 and Jadeja, no. The man comes at the boundary and that's just 1 run. India moved to 120 for 4. The reality is this, India playing 3 spinners is a problem for us regardless. So it could be on a track that takes pace, and India playing 3 spinners would be a problem for us. So I mean, I hear like Darren Sammy on comms earlier on was like, oh, why are we not playing Hayden Walsh? And I was listening, guys. I hear you, Darren, but you're acting like Hayden Walsh don't go for licks. Like, yes, he's a wicket-taking option, but he's also a licks-taking option. And that's cut away again for 4. Odean Smith has taken licks in his second over. He's gone for 11 runs, and India moved to 124 for 4. Michael says, just got back into cricket last year after not following since 2016. Will I suffer like you lot, or will they be good in my lifetime, bro? I've given up. I mean, I've not given up. I'm going to keep watching, but I've given up in that I've come to peace with the fact that West Indies will never be good again. I've come to peace with it. I can accept that. I've forgiven them and I have accepted it, and because of that, I've healed. I've healed. There is nothing they can do which can hurt me anymore. I pray that all of you can heal in good time. Yeah, 100% Orin. That's my point. A lot of short and wide stuff. I don't think this has been magnificent batting. I think some of the bowling has been trash. And Javon says Odean can't bowl to save his life. It's not that he can't bowl, Javon. It's just that he's too erratic. And this is why I've always questioned the presence. Well, it's not happened today, but this is why I always questioned the presence of both Romario and Odean. I don't think Romario and Odean can bowl 4 good overs between them. That's harsh. That's actually harsh. But you get the point I'm trying to make. You can't rely on Odean to bowl 4 good overs. On a good day, you can, but his good days are like 1 in every 5 matches. So ideally, you only ever want Odean to bowl 2. And like today, where he's just gone for licks, you don't bowl him again after that. Right, so Jason is back into the over after going for licks, back into the attack after going for licks in his first over. And he has already gone for a 4. Boy. He's already gone for a 4 in the first 2 balls of his over. Yeah, India should be getting about 180 from here, minimum. Yeah, Chatil, but there's only one game in Trinidad for the T20s. The ones on the weekend are in Florida. Let me update the score. See what Jason's third ball is. Oh no, Jason hasn't gone for a 4. Sorry, I got that wrong. I bad mouthed him. He didn't go 4. Is that out? Oh no, he hits a bat. Tries to throw. Did he hit Rohit with that? I think he hit Rohit's bat. But anyway, so sorry. So I said a 4. No, Jason's gone for .11 in his first 3 balls. Much better second over from Jason thus far. We have 6 overs remaining. Let me just he either hit Rohit's hamstring. What did he hit? Oh, he hit his lower back. Oh, that would have hurt. Let me see who's got how many overs left. Let me calculate this. Another good delivery from Jason, and Jadeja can only shovel that back down the ground for 1. Much better comeback over from Jason here. Is adjusted well. Right, so let me just look at the situation here. The current run rate is 8.66. So there'll be 5 overs to go after this. Obed will have 2 of them. Jason will have 2 of them. So who's getting the other one? Boy, Joseph Smith or Paul? Who would you give that last one to? Joseph Smith, or not last one as in the last over, but Obed and Jason will bowl 4 of the final 5. Who would you give the final one of that block to? Alzari, Odean, or Chemo? They've all gone for licks today. So who would you lot give it to? And Rohit slaps someone down the ground. He's out. He's out. Shimron comes in off the boundary. I told you Holders bowled a good comeback over here. Rohit tries to slap him. It's a good diving catch from Shimron. And Rohit has to go for 64. Like I said, this wasn't a classic Rohit innings. The first over and first few set of balls that are actually bowled, forcing Rohit to invent shots. Rohit's out. Good comeback over from Big Jace. Good catch from Shimron. And India 127 for 5. Am I ahead of everyone's stream again? Did I just give away spoilers? Did you? Did any of you like actually catch up with that? So it's 127 for 5. Rohit has gone for 64. And Kartik will be the new batter to come in. I think that was the end of Jason's over. For Court Hetmeyer, bold, holder. Lovely. Right, so there's the update on the scorecard for you lot. Yeah, the fielding's been relatively tidy. So it's the comeback guy, Dinesh Kartik. Okay, so I said India should get 180 from here. They still should, but so what? They'd need to get 180. They'd need 50 off the final 5 overs. That's doable if they don't lose wickets. That's the only thing that will stop them getting 180. But I think they're still on for about 175, 180. First ball from Jason is, yeah, that's a 4. Jadeja shovels that behind, shovels that fine. It's a poor delivery from Jason. It was asking to be put away. That goes for 7 runs, a good over nonetheless, and India 131 for 5 after 15 overs. So the question is, will India get up to 180? Yes or no? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you say, we're a spin bowler short, but let's not pretend that Hayden Walsh is a guaranteed wicket taker. So we still need a right hand. We need an off spinner in our side, not in the side as in must play in the 11, but just as an option. I cannot believe West Indies are picking squads without an off spin option to consider, whether it be Roston Chase. Doesn't have to be wicket taking per se, because Roston is quite economical in T20s. But I'm just surprised we didn't do it in the ODIs either. I'm not quite sure where the selectors are coming from with by not looking at off spin options. So I mean, Yo says, would you rather Walsh or Multi? Obviously Multi, but the point is Multi and Akil do the same thing. I'm saying we need the variety of an off spinner, and we never pick one in our squads. What's that about? I just don't get it. Anyways, Kartik, excellent drive through the covers, and that's a 4. So it was Joseph. They've given Joseph they've turned to Joseph to bowl the other over that needs to be bowled, and he has gone for 4 after his second ball. This is Joseph will bowl out. He's gone for 43 runs so far of 3.2 overs. Let's see how Danish will next ball. That's a much better delivery. Dinesh runs through for a single. That's 5 runs off 3 balls in this Roston Chase, in this Alzari Joseph over. Do you know what? Did I even go on Twitter and say that I'm over here or not? Can't remember. Let me just double check that. Yeah, is that our last tweet? 1 second, people. Yeah, cool. Done that. Right. I ain't seen Brian Lara Academy look this packed in ever. But that's also because obviously COVID has taken cricket away. But for the Trini people in this chat, if you're even there, you're probably at the game because look how packed the Brian R Academy is. But that's good to see. I would have thought that a 10:30 a.m. T20 game, whether it's versus India or not, and obviously there's a lot of Indian flags and there'll be a lot of Indians there, expats, etc. But it's I can't emphasize enough how impressive it is that they've managed to fill out a 10:30 game. And Chow, do you understand? Listen, of course they will understand it. Trinidad has a massive Indo-Caribbean population. Indian culture is huge in Trinidad, so they won't. The Hindi songs being played, there'll be enough people there that will understand that. Don't worry about that. That's not just for the. That won't just be for the Indian supporters, so to speak. Yeah, sweet by. Yeah, Sinclair's disappeared. Just in 1 year, just disappeared from West Indies colours and out. Joseph gets the wicket. Jadeja tries to cut him fine. He can only find the man at gully or point even, and Jadeja has to go for 16. Another wicket. India are 138 for 6 after 16 overs. The projected score now looks like 172. Yeah, Michael, that's what I'm saying. I would have said it would only have been diehards at 10:30. Enough man must not have gone to work today. I can't believe the stadium is full. How much did Alzari's over go for there? I think he bowled a good over. 7 runs and a wicket. So it was the right move from Puran to go to Alzari. As so Jason will get of the last 4, Jason will get 2, and Obed will get 2. Will get 2. India are 138 for 6. Good over from Alzari Joseph. India losing the plot a bit here. They should still get a competitive score, but they are losing the plot a bit, given the situation they were in. Yeah, Chatil, I think that's a good call. Jagasar would be a good option. They often ignore Jagasar. I can't even begin to explain the West Indies politics about players they ignore and players they don't ignore, and so on and so forth. By the way, if you're in this live, do press like if you haven't already done so. If you're somebody who's watching one of these lives for the first time and you've not subscribed to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, subscribe to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. And if you didn't hear the news from earlier on, go and subscribe on whatever podcast channel you listen to West Indies on 99.94 DM, which is where a lot of our content will be going in the future. Anyways, Jason back into the attack, and Kartik takes him for a single. Rovman fields on the perimeter. India move to 139.46. Sorry, let me just see what they are. Yeah. Okay, Chatil says that Ashwin batted at 3 at times for Rajasthan. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Ashwin. I mean, obviously, Ashwin, all of his big test scores are versus West Indies. I know this isn't test cricket, but I mean, he loves batting against West Indies. Dhruv, let's go to your comment there. So you can't call wide for that. No way. Come on, man. Wide ball. He'll reload that one. So Dhruv says, thoughts on Joseph's debut? 2 big wickets, ordinary deliveries, too expensive and predictable. Yeah, Dhruv, at the end of the day, they need a wicket-taking bowler who is fast. It's about if you think about it, it's ridiculous that Alzari Joseph has never played a T20 for West Indies until now. So we're not going to write him off after one game. If anyone deserves a run in the T20 side, Alzari Joseph does. If he can get an IPL deal, he can certainly play more than one T20 match for the West Indies. So let's see how he goes over time. Oh, was there a nick on that? Wait a minute. Sorry, people. I looked down, assuming that Jason was just going to reload the ball. Have they gone for some kind of review here? What's going on? Is there an edge on it? It looks like there might be no edge. That is not out. I'm not sure what sound they thought they heard. Maybe it's not even bat against pad. So I'm not sure what they're reviewing there. Yeah, Sheldon, I'm with you. if we're being completely honest, none of these players, apart from his bowlers, maybe we should throw Jason in there. Yeah, throw Jason in there. I think Jason's probably in there. Apart from Hussein McCoy and Jason, none of them as bowlers can say they can go to the World Cup qualifiers. They also have to find a way for Fabian Allen to get into this side. I don't know how. There's actually too many in this. I was thinking about this before the match, like earlier this morning when I was looking at the squads. I was trying to make my team up. I was like, there's too many all rounders. Kemo Paul, Romario Shepherd, Oldeen Smith, Jason Holder. They all do the same thing. And then I think Fabian Allen should be, obviously he's got compassion, not compassion. He's got personal circumstances preventing being picked. But I don't know where you lot feel on the Fabian Allen thing. He gets into my T20 side no matter what. But I don't know how he gets in. But you see these 4 medium pacers who are all the same player. We can't have them. So someone from Kemo, Romario, or OD needs to go sit down somewhere. And I just don't think we should be packing the side with that. There's not enough variety there. What have we got all of 4 of those players for? If someone can explain that to me. Yeah, Colin. Do you know what's happened to Chase? Because Chase can't bat anymore, there's people. Good delivery from Holder, and again, Ashwin can only work that for 1. So the wide notwithstanding, that's 5 runs off 4 balls in this over. Good over from Chase. But what's happened with Chase, I think, is the following. And there are people in this chat who know that I wasn't Roston's biggest fan over the last year and a half because of his batting. But this is where I think the selectors have gone wrong. Roston deserved to be dropped for his batting in Test cricket, but in limited overs cricket, Roston is worth a pick for his bowling. And I just wonder if the selectors have got 2, and again, just dab down, and they can only run a single, 1 more ball of the over, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runs off it so far. I think the selectors got too focused on thinking Roston's a batter. He's got to fix his batting. Yes, he does. But if they just switched their thinking and went, Roston is a bowler, let's pick him primarily as a bowler. And if he can add any runs from, like, put him down from anywhere between number 8 and number 11, make him bat anywhere between there. And if you see him primarily as a bowler in white ball cricket, then his stock and his worth, right? Is that out? Oh, no. His stock and his worth rises appreciably because you've reassessed what his actual position is in the side. We've got to stop thinking of Roston Chase as a batter now. Let's see him as a bowler primarily, a lower order bowler who can bat a bit. And in my eyes, he then gets into your white ball sides if you consider him in that respect. That's your off spinner right there. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. Make him bat at number 8 or number 9. And I know that's a diss up because he's supposed to be a batter. He's got 5 Test hundreds. We can't bat no more, or currently. So just change the thinking around him. Anyways, Jason only went for 7 in that over, and India are 145 for 6 after 17 overs. They should still, even from here, I would still say that India should get up very close to 180. It just depends. At the moment, neither Kartik or Ashwin look like they got any big shots in them. But you never know. Anyways. Wait, Javid says Kemo Paul has a seat. Has a seat, you mean to sit down somewhere, or has a seat on the plane? He can't have a seat on the plane already. What's he done to have a seat on the plane? And Obed McCoy is back in. What? Obed 1 for 7 so far. I thought his first over went for licks. Maybe I missed that. Maybe I missed the first over. Chatil, I don't know if I'm taking Jaden Seals just yet. If they want to take Jaden Seals to the World Cup, then Jaden Seals should have been in this T20 squad. Because remember, after this, we only have the T20s versus New Zealand. Then it's CPL. Oh, and that's going to be out. Slower ball from McCoy. Oh, no, it's not out. Ah, the man was too far on the boundary. He gets away with it. Sorry. I lied to you, people. Kartik spoons that high in the air, but there was no one on the perimeter, and it was Rothman that's running from the boundary, and it drops before Rothman can get there. So 2 streaky runs there for Kartik. Yeah, there's only 3 T20s against New Zealand. Then it's CPL. Are we going to make the same mistake as the last World Cup? Well, I don't think it was a mistake. I get why it happened. But are we going to do the same thing as the last World Cup where we change the squad from who played before CPL and then take players based on CPL performance who hadn't previously been picked? So I'm not sure Seals is going to get in the side. That's another 2. No, they're running it. Yep. Oh, what's going to happen there? What the hell was McCoy doing? Did he not? Foolishness, man. Pure slack. Some slack field in there, man. Anyways, Kartik takes another 2 runs. Good running. So why didn't he run the man out? What? I knew it. That's what I'm saying. I thought that's what happened. So Ashwin was well out, and for some reason McCoy didn't take the bells off. What on earth was he? I thought that's what happened, but I thought maybe I had it wrong, and that it's even now. What on earth was that? You know, when you see something so ridiculous, you say to yourself, "Oh, maybe that's not what happened," but it actually was what I thought happened. Ashwin was nowhere in the frame. McCoy took the ball and just didn't take the bells off. Just acted like Ashwin was already in. What? Now, what was that? What? No. What? Let me not even. What's going on? What was he doing? Who's watching that? What was he actually doing? Who can explain what Obed was actually doing? Did he think Ashwin was already in? Like, what was that? Did he? Like, you know what? I can't dwell on it because I'll get vexed. I don't understand what the hell that was. And I don't have my volume on, obviously, because I don't want a YouTube strike. I don't have my volume on, so I don't even know what the commentators are saying about it. So someone who does have the volume on, what are they saying he did there? That was schoolboy cricket. In fact, that was kindergarten cricket because a schoolboy would still take the stumps off regardless. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand in what scenario would you not take the stumps? Listen, that Indian match fiction money, boy. Anyways, let me see. Sorry, I missed some comments from up above. Let me go back and see. I mean, that nonsense fielding aside, it's actually been a good over by Obed, and that brings the over to an end. And 9 runs come off it. Injure 154 for 6 off 18 overs. Yeah, Sheldon, I agree. They should still be trying to convince Sunil Narayan to come out of retirement for the World Cup. He won't, but they should still be trying to. The backup keeper, Devon Thomas, at the moment. That's the option at the moment. That's why I think he's in the squad. No other reason. I need to turn the lights on. It's getting a bit dark in here. I'll turn them on in a minute. Sorry, I'm just going through comments. So Dominic Drakes is in this squad, but I don't know why he's in this squad. Like, I don't know what his position or role is. In fact, you can add Dominic Drakes to that list I said earlier. Holder, Paul, Odin, Romario, Dominic Drakes is the 5th one. They're all the same player. Like, I don't understand. I think Mayers is going to be the opener. If Evan Lewis isn't going to come back, remember you want a right hand, left hand combination. So Mayers basically has to fail Mayers has to do something dreadful at this stage to lose the opener's position. It's his. Wait, who said Hemraj? Hemraj ain't going nowhere. Oh, here we go. Colin's saying Hemraj as well. Hemraj, listen, I will take Chandrapur Hemraj serious when he loses his belly. He clearly is a talented cricketer, but in this era of you must get 40 on the yo-yo test, Hemraj ain't getting no 40 on any yo-yo test. Although I've read some articles recently that Hemraj hasn't given up on West Indies selection. Uh, I get frustrated by players like Hemraj because he has all the talent in the world, but I don't know if he has that elite mindset that means he's willing to get the best out of his potential. He's just another West Indian player. We're like, oh, he had the potential to be really good, and he just didn't want it enough. So and yes, okay, yeah, look at Paul Sterling. But Paul Sterling makes big hundreds. Does Hemraj make big hundreds? Hemraj is just another average opener in the context of West Indies cricket who we talk up because has Ashwin taken him for six? Yes, he has. Ashwin blast holder out the ground, and there's a six. West Indies, India moved to 161 for six. Yeah, so as we're saying with Hemraj doesn't even have the numbers to justify giving him like a Paul Sterling to give him like a Paul Sterling leeway. And you're saying, did we give him enough time to make hundreds? I'm not even talking about international. I'm saying just look at his domestic numbers. What does Hemraj do domestically that means he must 100% get in the West Indies side above Carl Mayers or who's going to open with him? Remember, and I'll put Brandon King. So some of you will say, "Oh, Hemraj is better than Brandon King," but we want a right-handed, left-handed opener. So his comparison will be Carl Mayers. You're putting in Hemraj above Carl Mayers? No chance. Good slower ball. Ashwin Watts down the track doesn't connect. People have to remember that in T20s, more than selecting players and calling players names, you have to think about what's the role of the player. So we can all call names in T20s, but if they aren't fulfilling a role or if they're not replacing someone directly, what are you calling them into the squad for? So the first thing you must always explain to me when you give me a name in T20s is who are they replacing? And then once you tell me who they're replacing, I'll then tell you if that makes sense from a role perspective or not. Kartik slaps that down to the man of the boundary, well fielded. Is that Rovman? I don't know who that was, or maybe even Obed. Anyways, they run another two, and it's one. It was Obed. They run another two. It's 166 for six. Yeah, they should still get to 180 from here. Chatil, Devon Thomas actually had a good CPL last year. In fairness, so yeah. Um, Lewis is coming back to open West Indies. You tell me. I don't think he is. I think Evan Lewis is done with West Indies for at least the rest of 2022. And also, the argument has to go like this: if Evan isn't, in fact, no, it's not. We know, and Holder gets blasted out the ground again. This time by Kartik, and 180 is definitely in sight now. So Holder has gone for. Oh, was that a 6-0 ball earlier? Oh my god. This over has been dreadful from Jason. How many has he gone for? Is it 15 he's gone for so far in this over? Yeah. 16. He's gone for 16 runs in this over. Dreadful from Jason. Let's see what he's got. The over's not even over. Let's see what he's got with this final ball. 16 runs gone. India are 171 for six. I was right. 180 is pending. 7-1 for six. Let's see how Jason tries to finish it off. He's gone round the wicket, and this time Kartik goes inside out, and that's a 4. 20 runs off that over. That is a rubbish. And India are 175 for 6. Kartik moves to 100 to 27 off 14 balls, doing his finishing role to perfection here. So Obed will have to go some. Obed has to go some now. Right, here we go. So yeah, he does look rusty. I thought he looked really rusty in the ODI game 2 days ago, or whenever that was. But that, rusty or not, that was still rubbish. So you know. Anyways, it is what it is. Yeah, Anchel, yes, okay, India's premier finisher, but I think I might have hit some of those balls some of those balls he hit for 6, I would have hit for 2. That's how dreadful they were. So I hear you, but let's also keep it in context. So McCoy will get the last over. Him and Akil Hussain have defied the pitch. Akil went at 3.5. McCoy has gone, and that should be out. No, it's fallen. It's fallen between the two fielders. Ashwin gets 1. Ashwin does his job. He gets off strike, which will put Kartik on strike for the next 5 balls of this over. Indra 176 for 6. Yo, you need to stop doing up Guyanese defense. People would call for Shepherd's head because Shepherd is mad inconsistent. Jason Holder isn't Romario Shepherd. Come on, man. Let's have a bit of balance here. Jason Holder, even at his worst, is more consistent than Romario Shepherd. So people would call for Romario Shepherd's head, rightly so, because of his massive lack of massive inconsistency. Good ball. Good ball by Obed. What's that? Is it going to be called a wide, actually? No, it's a dot. Effectively bowled it into Kartik's ribs, and Kartik can't do anything with it. We'll take the dot. Yeah, Kartik tried to hit it for 6, and it catches the bottom of his gloves and rolls through to Puran. Dot ball, though, which is the most important thing. 176 for 6, 4 balls remain. One of these balls is going for 1-6 at some point, and there it is. Kartik goes for it. Has he got enough on it? Yes, he has. 6. Told you. One of these balls is always going to go for 6. And Kartik gets a 6. He moves to 33. Not out of 16 balls. India moved to 182 for 6. I still want to know how many of the people in the Brian Lara Stadium who are supporting India are Indians who have come over from America. I want to know how many of them are them and how many of them are Trini Indians, or Indo-Trinis, I should say. Because there looks to be a lot of Indian supporters in that crowd, and I don't buy that it's just Americans who have come over. Anyways, this time he tries to reverse sweep, and he's got that over the man at fine, and that's gone for 4. 186 for 6. Kartik is doing his job to a T. Yeah, at this point, India are favourites. If that wasn't clear enough already, India are favourites. It's a wicket to bat on, but I suspect, assuming that they get over 190, 190 on any wicket is going to take some getting close to. That said, in Hetmeyer, Puran, Oldeen, Smith, and Rovman Powell, West Indies have 4 batters who, if they get going, they will chase this down. But anyways, 5th ball of the over. Kartik can't shovel this one. He sends Ashwin back. Ashwin wanted the run. Kartik rightly sends him back. We take a welcome dot. So 1 ball remaining. India 186-46. I've said I've put on the screen that it's the end of the match. It's not, or end of the innings. But let's see. Yo says we're not chasing it because there's spin coming. Yeah, you're right. But this is also T20. We're better in T20s than we are in ODIs. So the metrics don't, I mean, yes, you're right, but the metrics don't work the same way with T20s. And Kartik goes for it again, inside out. There's no one on the boundary. I have no idea why. And he ends it with a 4, and India end with 190 for 6. West Indies will need 191 to win. We got 190 plus versus Bangladesh. Some of you may not remember. So I would not rule out the chase completely. But we shall see. And Chatil is right. This is a better pitch to bat on historically. That's why Puram wanted to bowl first. But we shall see. 190 is a lot. So we'll see how West Indies go. Yo, I have no idea. I just said that. Why was there no man on the fine leg boundary? I have no idea. But you know what? We shall see. I think it's game on. India are favourites at the halfway stage, but I actually think it's game on. Who's our openers? Brooks and Mayers. If Brooks and Mayers get us off to good point. Good point from Chatil. The people might have been in the circle because of poor over 8. That's a very good point, Chatil. I hadn't even considered that. Javon, that's my point exactly. Darren Sammy calling for Walsh, saying, why have they not picked him? Darren Sammy was calling for Walsh like Walsh is the best leg spinner in the world. And all I was thinking was, come on, Darren, you must know this man goes for licks. Like, what's he talking about? Yeah, I agree with BP. If a foundation is set, then we've got enough 6 hitting bullies in from Hetmeyer down that we could chase it. I think India are still favourites, but yeah, let me just recap the bowling. McCoy 1 for 30 off 4. Holder 1 for 50 off 4. Dreadful. Hussain 1 for 14. Fantastic. Joseph 2 for 46. Smith none for 18 off 2. And Kemo Paul 1 for 24 off 2. 190 for 6. Yeah, Demo confirms there were 5 in because there were so many because of the slow over rate. So that is why. Dhruv, yeah, I mean, Kartik took him down, but yes, you're right. Obed actually induced a lot of false shots from Kartik, but that's T20. The game is a game with T20. A mishit can go for a 6 or a 4, and that's why your numbers can look skewered sometimes, even if you bowl a good over. However, we did not bowl enough good overs across the piece. Yeah, Thomas, first things first, congratulations on passing your driving test. Big up yourself. Go out on the town to celebrate. But don't drive. Yeah, but I've always said this with Jason. So when Jason didn't get called for last year's T20 World Cup and everyone cussed, I remember having this big debate. Some of you in this live will remember me saying that I didn't think it was that big a deal. I even did a YouTube video. You can still find it on our channels when Jason wasn't picked. And I was like, I don't get what the big deal is. People going on like Jason was one of the greatest T20 players of all time. Don't get me wrong. He'd had a good IPL. He's even had a good IPL in the last one they just had, or a good enough IPL. But it had a terrible CPL prior to the World Cup, and he wasn't that good throughout the year for West Indies. So I've always felt that the way people talk about Jason in T20s, you'd think he's a world beater. See, people say I'm a hater, but my point, I think, and you can extrapolate the same argument to ODIs. Jason gets more of a bly because he's Jason Holder. But if Jason Holder was another player with some of his numbers and some of his performances, you wouldn't talk him up as much. But because our talent pool is so tiny in the West Indies in terms of genuine world-beating talent, I think Jason sometimes gets talked up above his ability. Not Test cricket. We're not doubting his Test cricket ability. I'm just saying in the other formats. So that said, I'd still have him in my team. I'm just saying that I think sometimes people talk up his ability more than it is in the white ball game. But also to give him his due, he has just come off COVID and he has just come off a 2.5 month rest. So he's going to take some time to get back up to full speed. So I feel like this is like a 70% Jason Holder we're seeing at this moment in time. I don't know where the Andre Russell argument's coming from. So when you say he was trash in the World Cup, what's that in response to? All I know is the one game he won in the World Cup, Andre Russell bowled the death over, and that's why we won versus Bangladesh. So if he was trash, fine, but I know he won us the one game that we actually won in that last World Cup. Right now, I'd still take Andre Russell as a bowler over everyone in that team, bar Akil Hussain and Obed McCoy. He is still better than everybody else with the ball in our team. There, said it. Again, Chatil, you must have missed the point I made. He got talked up because of IPL, but go and look at what he actually did for the West Indies. So West Indies aren't selecting players based on, well, whether they should or whether they shouldn't. West Indies didn't select that squad. Or sorry, no, they did because Chris Gale got in. But West Indies have to select players also based on what do they do for the West Indies. Go and pull me Jason Holder's numbers prior to that World Cup. What had he actually done in T20 cricket for the West Indies that justified him being there? So don't talk to me about IPL. I hear you, but what he actually done? Before the World Cup. Before the World Cup. Okay, if I'll take your word for it, if you're saying that that's what it was, how many? So, one second, I'm gonna actually go. I'm gonna go and test your working out. Hold on, people. I'm just testing Chatil's working out because if he's right, I'm gonna shut my mouth. Right, here we go. Sri Lanka, South Africa, Pakistan. Oh, that's with the bats. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Six, eight. Right. So he played 6 matches before that World Cup. So he played 3 versus Sri Lanka. And you're right, his economy there was 6.8, and 3 versus South Africa, and his economy was 8.1. He took 5 wickets across the 6 matches. Now, the question, therefore, that you need to ask yourself, and this is the argument I would make, Chatil, is they wanted a wicket taking option. I'm not counting Pakistan because all the games got rained out. You can count Pakistan. I'm not, because that series basically didn't happen. So the point I'm making there is the whole issue West Indies had before the 2021 World Cup is they felt that they didn't have any wicket-taking options. Even now, is Jason Holder a wicket-taking option in T20s for the West Indies? You might say he is in IPL, but does he do that for the West Indies? Now, he does, to give him his due, that England series, after the World Cup. Jason was really good. Obviously, he was brilliant. 15 wickets at 7.78. But I'm not talking about post World Cup. Jason is rightly, remember my point, I said Jason rightly gets into our side now. But prior to the World Cup, given what the West Indies wanted, I think they went down the line of who are the wicket-taking options for the West Indies. Even now, there's an issue with the West Indies and wicket-taking options. That's why Alzari Joseph is in the side. Who, when you lot see our T20 side, who do you see as you're going to get me wickets up front? And before the World Cup, that's why they turned, whether they should have done or whether they shouldn't have done, that's why they turned to Ravi Rampal, because they were like, maybe he can be a new ball wicket-taking option. And obviously, remember, they lost Obed McCoy, which was, they lost Fabian Allen, which I don't think people appreciated were as big a loss as they actually were for the West Indies. So, like I say, I understood the justification for not taking Jason Holder as somebody to start in the 11 because of what they were looking for. It proved to be wrong. But even when Jason came into the side, for those who remember, Jason came into the side, was it after the second game because of injuries or COVID or whatever it was? And we still didn't win any matches. So this is why I was always saying to people in the World Cup, and Roston came in and was like, yeah, now they're in the side. Now things are going to change. Look at this, naked sex. I knew these men would come eventually, you know. Let me block the naked sex. So yeah. Anyways, that's by the by. The World Cup's been and done. The porn bots have found me, man. The flipping porn bots have come. Which one of you, man, put the porn bots on? Who brought them in? Nah. One of you, man, brought in the porn bots, you know. You brought in them, man. Now they're here trying to sell sex. They must have just seen hashtag India game and said, you know what? Time to assemble. Sherfane don't care about playing for West Indies. I've got that on good authority, so forget Sherfane Rutherford, man. He don't care about playing West Indies. Anyways, we're back. We're already back. I didn't even realize. Kumar is marking out his run up. Brooks and Carl Mayers are out there. Will West Indies chase 170? Anyways, I think I've killed off the pawn bots. You know, I think I got them. Yeah, Chatil, I do agree with you on that, and I said that to Nicholas in the what do you call it, the press conference yesterday. I asked Nicholas, where are you going to use what's the plan with Jason Holder batting wise? And Nicholas said that they had used Aldine Smith as a floating batter in the series versus Bangladesh, and he said but they're aware that obviously Jason can play that role as well. I think Jason should bat higher up the order, to particularly when the spin comes on, but we shall see. Anyways, first ball, and Carl Mayers works that out into the covers. No run. Boy, I don't know where Santoki is, you know. I killed the bots, though. I got them. I got them quickly. Casey Carter in T20 Internationals. No way. First ball, gone. 4 runs. Carl Mayers ain't hanging about. We're off. Carl Mayers says, you know what? It's 190 we're chasing. Let's just start hitting 4s and 6s. We move. We really start to move. I can do these T20 watch-alongs, you know. This feels like light work. Very light work. After doing 4 hours for an ODI, T20, I'm feeling fresh out here. Orin, so we're we're recording the first official pod where it's just me and Santoki. We're recording it on Sunday. So oh sorry, I forgot to check about Jared, see what he said. So we're recording that first official pod on Sunday. So it should be out on Monday. Let me see what Jared said in response to that thing. 1 second, people. You'll probably hear his thing.
podcast will be available to everyone. But it's just taking its time to sort of move across smoothly, a little bit like Sam talking computer and Riverside the other night.
Right, that was Jared I was just listening to. So Jared says that 99.94 on the app will be available everywhere. So if you, and that's another 4, Brooks slaps that. It's, oh, no, it's not. The man comes round and cuts it off for 2 runs. So Jared was just saying in that voice note to me that they were just working through some bugs on the app earlier on. So if you lot didn't know, you can download the 99.94 app. Don't know if you'll be able to see it on my phone. So I'm just going to click on it on my phone in a minute. So there is an app for it. Let's see. And when you go on there, you'll see the people who are on it so far. So you'll see my name, for example. And then when you click on my name, I'm going to show you. I don't know if you lot can see this on the screen. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. So anyways, you'll see commentators. Then if you click on my name, it'll then show what shows I've been on. And then if you click on the show, you can then just play. So if I press play, oh, it says not available in the country. But the point is they're still working on it, and eventually you'll be able to play it through the app. Don't know where Brooks is running to, or he could have run that single actually. But anyways, Mayers didn't want to go anywhere. Can you put a link, Sanjay? Put a link up for what? What of the show? It's on every podcast. I'm sorry, it's on every platform, Apple, Spotify, etc., etc. Anybody who's listened to the episode today, where did you listen to it? I don't know if they've put it on YouTube yet. There is a YouTube channel. In fact, it should be on YouTube because Jared sent me the visuals earlier on. So I think you can probably go to 99.94 on YouTube and find it. Let me go and have a look and see if it's there. 99.94. There is definitely a channel, but it might be under Jared's name rather than thing. Anyways, first over went for 11. Arshdeep comes into the attack, and Mayers has he got enough on that? I don't think he has. Yes, he has. That's gone for 6. Yes, he has. Arshdeep Singh's first ball gone. West Indies moves to 17 for none after 7 balls. Oh, there you go. So yeah, I don't know if you lot can see this. So if you put, can you see it? If you put 99.94 DM into YouTube, you'll see that the first video up there says, well, it's our show. Welcome to 99.94, and you can just watch the show back there. Okay, so it's on YouTube as well. So it's everywhere. So if you're a visuals person, it's on YouTube. Next ball is wide, and Arshdeep will have to reload that. Yeah, Michael. So I think the Barbados game is on the iPlayer. So I'm gonna get that up on my iPad soon enough. I thought you were. Are you at the ground yet, Michael? And that's cut away for 4. West Indies moved to 22 without loss after 8 balls. Again, like I said, this is what I said. If Mayers and Brooks can set a foundation, we have enough bullies lower on in the order who, if they're given a foundation, will cash in on it. And listen, even if Carl gets out, I know Javid, you're saying don't hype Carl up, but this is why I like Carl. My whole thing is when you're opening in T20 cricket, I don't want to see you juk the ball. Get in and get runs and get out. Like that should be every T20 opener's role. Like we don't want to see you waiting around to make runs. It's the same thing that Evan would do. That's why Evan Lewis is such a destructive white ball opener, and why we've got to invest in Kyle, because Kyle starts quickly or he gets out, but that's fine. and that's out. You see what I mean? So he's got his 15 runs, and then he's out. So 15 off 6, off he goes. Arshdeep gets in with a bouncer. It seems to climb on Kyle quicker than he realizes, and off he has to walk for 15 runs. It's kind of like I don't even know what the shot was. It just climbed on him. I don't think he saw the bouncer coming. Arshdeep gives him a bit of a send off. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Let me try and find this. So West Indies are 22 for 1. 0.3 overs. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who they send in next, because technically, yeah, I don't. Who is it? See, it's Jason. See, this is what Chatil and I were talking about. That there is a merit to bringing Jason in higher up the order. Now they've gone right-handed, right-hand. They've gone 2 right-handers. Then possibly there was an argument to say send in Hetmeyer early, but I get why I think this is a ploy they should use a whole lot more of. That's too high. Of Arts and Jason's go up the order. Orin, it's just Barbados. So Barbados won the T20 competition back in 2019. So Cricket West Indies sent them as the representative now to represent the region. But the joke is, we just had a T20 competition a couple of months back and Jamaica won it. But they'd already decided that Barbados should be the representatives for winning the previous tournament. So yeah, Barbados are representing the region, and it can only be the Barbadian players. But the Barbados side is good, but they're on a bit of a hide into nothing, because West Indies as a collective. What's happened there? Ooh, nearly goes back onto Jason's stumps, but it's killed dead. The West Indies as a collective would struggle to get out of the Commonwealth group. So for those who don't know, the group is Pakistan, Australia, India. In general, West Indies would struggle. Yes, the Bajans have a very good side. Obviously, you call out the obvious names: Selman, Casey, Kishorna Knight, obviously Deandra, obviously Hayley Matthews, etc. So Barbados have some good players, but it's going to be a very hard task for them to get out the group without the other talent across the region. Anyways, Jason slaps that, but finds a man on the perimeter. No run. Listen, all in one, I don't ever want to hear about Shea Holt being in any West Indies T20 side. Anurag, no. Evan Lewis is done, because after the T20s versus India, we have the T20s versus New Zealand. The squad for the T20s versus New Zealand is the exact same squad that has been selected for India. After that, we have no more T20 internationals before the World Cup. We just have CPL. Evan Lewis is done out here. He ain't going to no World Cup. Oh my, what? Oh, I thought I'd gone through Brooks, Anyways, Jadeja has come in to bowl the 3rd over, so India turn to spin almost immediately. How we go with spin will decide this match. I don't know, I don't know. And the joke is, after 2016, it wasn't like Johnson Charles turned terrible. Maybe Johnson Charles failed fitness tests. I don't know, man. I don't know. And, Brooks nearly goes caught and bowled, but it falls just short of a return catch for Jadeja. Brooks looking out of his depth a bit here. And that one, no, does he shovel that? Yep, shovels that one to the boundary. So first ball nearly got bowled. Second ball, He just fails to carry to Jadeja for a caught and bowled, and then the next ball, Brooks hits it for 4. Faraz, which Bravo? Big Bravo or Little Bravo? Sweep. Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I think that's a really good move. Brooks tries to go for a reverse slog, reverse sweep, gets wrapped on the pads, but it's outside the line. I think that's a really good move for Shea to go to the Amazon Warriors. I think Barbados Royals dropped the ball. I think Barbados Royals dropped the ball in 2020 and in 2021. I don't think they should have allowed Jason Holder to captain the Barbados Royals in 2020-21. In fact, both of them. And the reason why is because at that point, Jason had lost the West Indies Test captaincy, yeah? And sorry, he'd lost all the captaincies. Now, my point is, you already know at that point now that Shea Hope was bowled. Holder backs away onto his leg stump. I don't know if he's played onto his stumps or if Jadeja has just bowled him, but Holder's gone for a duck. West Indies are 27 for 2. So the Holder experiment up top does not work. Holder tries to cut it and he gets bowled on his middle stump. That's an embarrassing dismissal. You back away to leg and you get bowled on your middle stump. Nah, you have to hold your head low for that one still. West Indies are 27 for 2 after 3 overs. Mayers has been given the captaincy for the 60, the Barbados Royals 60 side. Who comes in now? So we've got 3 more overs of the power play. It's got to be a left-hander. Hetmeyer? No, Puran. Yeah, it had to be a left-hander. I possibly would have sent Hetmeyer. If they're not sending Hetmeyer, that suggests to me that they see Hetmeyer as a finisher now. Possibly. Either way, he's not going to be playing a finisher role today. He's going to be playing that you have to bat properly role. Javon, when I said this, people came for me. So I'm not even gonna take that on. Loads of people are messaging me. Every time I do these lives, I get enough messages on my phone. First ball, Brooks just avoids manages to the ball deposits in between the 2 fielders, gets away with 1 run. It's good comeback here. Good comeback here by India, 28 for 2 West Indies after 3.1 overs. Sorry, people, I'm just checking all these people that sent me messages. Right. Sorry, people, I just had to respond to a message. Puran wants a quick run. Brooks wants nothing to do with that. West Indies have been slowed down here. Yeah, John, I agree with you on that. But I presume that Brooks's role here now is to just bat through the order and let everybody bat around him in some shape or form. I hope Shimron can get off. I want Shimron to go well today, you know. Don't want to put lots of pressure on him, but I hope he gets a good innings today. So all in one, our group is Zimbabwe, Ireland, and Scotland in the World Cup qualifiers. And Puran gets off the mark, or did he not? Did he take the run in the end, or did he? No, he did not take the run. So Arshdeep's second over so far is 1. Supernova, I think they brought Holder up because they wanted to counteract the spin. That could be the only reason you'd bring Holder up the order. They must have thought that India was going to turn spin, which they did with Jadeja. And Holder would have been there to counteract that. And it failed. Yep, Sanjay, I agree. I would have had King over Brooks, but remember, there's 5 ODIs. There's 5 ODIs. Sorry, there's 5 T20s. So I've got no issue with them rotating. You can't have that's Puran now gets off the mark. You can't have 5 T20s and you're just playing the same team again and again and again. So at the end of this, India and so basically we've got 8 T20s left, India and New Zealand, right? At the end of that, they should kind of have an idea of what they think their best 11 is. 2 teams qualify from the group, if I remember rightly. Wait, no, is that what happens? Is it 2? Is it the top? Anyone? Yeah, it's the top. Isn't it 2 from 4 in each group? Am I making that up, people? It can't just be one team in the World Cup. Is it 2? Who knows? Is it 2 from 4 in the? Yeah, but is it 2 in each group, or is it just the winner of each group? Yo, I can't remember now. Brooks stares that through the covers for 1. That's right. If it's 2 from 4, then West Indies would have to play terribly to not get out of the World Cup qualifiers. But that said, we are in the much harder group. Ireland, Zimbabwe, and Scotland is harder than Sri Lanka's group. I think Sri Lanka have got Netherlands, and then a couple of joke men. I can't remember who's in their group, but it's a couple of joke men. Is it Netherlands, UAE, and someone else? It's a really good over from Arshdeep, by the way. He actually bowled a no ball in there, which I didn't even realise, but he didn't get punished for it. West Indies are 31 for 2 after 3.5 overs. Who have Sri Lanka got? I swear it's Netherlands, Namibia, and UAE. Or like whoever their group is, it's much easier than our group. That's all I remember. Right, one more ball left of Arshdeep's over. He's gone for 1 for 15 from 1.5 overs thus far. West Indies are 31 for 2. It definitely slowed down since the wickets. That may be the case, Chatil, but who have they got? That's not. No one's still told me who Sri Lanka have got in their group. Right, that's the end of the over. West Indies are 32 for 2 after 4 overs. So we are going at 8s. That's not bad run rate wise. Puran's job right now will obviously be to just set a bit of a foundation. He doesn't have to go ballistic. We'll want a few more runs, most definitely in the last 2 overs of the power play. But it's just got to set a foundation for Hetmeyer and Rovman in particular. Oh my God, look at this. The flipping man them are back. Have I got rid of them? Did I get rid of them? I think I got rid of the sex man, Okay, so right. So Sri Lanka have got Namibia, UAE, and Netherlands. Yeah, come on. If we're comparing the 2 groups, obviously West Indies group is much harder. You see, when you start to get them bots, that must be how you know that your live watch along is starting to become popular. The bots, Puran waltzes down the track to Ashwin, and he has. I thought he'd deposited him out the ground, but fantastic fielding by which fielder there. They've become so. I think it might be Shreyas. It is Shreyas. They've become so commonplace, this type of fielding now, that you just almost take it for granted. He flies over the boundary, takes a catch, and chucks it back in before he falls to the ground. Although they'll want to just double check that Shreyas's foot wasn't on the ropes as he took that catch. Oh, hold on. What's going on? Yeah, so they might want to look again at that. So what's the deal here? I think he's over the ropes still, kinda. Before he chucks it back, he's over the ropes, is he not? Is that a 6? As his foot touches down, he's not. Oh, there's an argument to say that as his foot touches down, he's not actually let go. It's tight. It's tight. I could see why they'd give that. I think his foot touches the ground before he lets go of the ball. But we'll see what they give that as. What would you lot give that as? I think he doesn't release the ball before his foot makes contact with the ground. And he's over the ropes at the same time. And they've given it as a 4, or they've given it as a 6? What have they given it as? It's not been. They've given it as 2. Anyways, so that was neither 4 nor 6, it was just a 2. Right, sorry, you lot been chatting in the meantime. I don't even know what's going on. Yeah. So, anyways, 2 and a 1 off Ashwin's first 3 balls. West Indies are 35 for 2 of 4.2 overs. Brooks comes down the wicket to Ashwin and sends him back over his head for 6. That was a beautiful stroke by Shamar Brooks. West Indies moved to 41 for 2. Did this guy mean to do anyways? What the hell? Harry Rector says that West Indies are not improving. Where have you been, man? That's been the case for 22 years. Like, come on. So Ashwin bowled a dot with his 4th ball. 2 more to go in this over. We've got 9 off it so far. What will Brooks do to Ashwin's 5th delivery? Whips him through the covers, and that will be 1 run. Where were India at this point of the innings? I feel like India were 45 for 2 at the end of the power play. West Indies are 42 for 2 with 6 more balls of the power play to go. So we are actually ahead of the game at this stage. Right. So that's the end of the over. 1 more over to go of the power play. Like I say, India ended the power play on 45 for 2. We will surely end the power play on more runs than that. Harry Rector, you're close to Andre Russell. Really? He said you're a hot man. Ah, boy. Harry Rector must be a porn bot. Harry, do you want me to block you? Because you're coming with a next level of chat. Right. Ashwin, not Ashwin. Sorry, who's this? Who is that? Wait, now allow. Now you man allow Harry. You can't kill him like that. So Boovy's back into the attack, and he Gets away with it? Yeah, it gets away with one. Brooks tried to say that was a wide, but he gets away with one. Yeah, Neeks is probably on AFTV doing something. If Arsenal are playing, then Neeks is probably there, you know. You men don't know about Neeks, you know. Right, 5 more balls left of um 5 more balls left of this over. Let's see how Brooks approaches this next ball from Buvy. And he's bowled. Bowled straight through him. Straight through him. Buvy cleans him up. Cleans him up. India are now officially ahead of the game. It's 42 for 3. Brooks goes for 20 from 15. West Indies are going to lose this game at this rate. Was Brooks trying to play him through the offside? Anyways, Brooks is gone, is the point. It's going to be Petmeyer, surely, that has to come in now. No, it's not. They've sent in Rothman Powell. Yeah, they'll want the right hand, left hand combinations. So they've sent in Rothman Powell. So 3 wickets gone in the power play. Generally speaking, look at this old uncle complaining. Right, so Rothman is now in. Yo says Powell needs to go from ball 1. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. We've just lost 3 wickets. I'd rather he consolidate for a bit. The last thing we can afford is another wicket to go. Yeah, it's only Brooks. I'm more saying if you lose 3 wickets in the power play, your chances of winning a match are slim. So that's more the issue than it being Brooks himself. And yeah, so 2 more balls of no audio. Who said no audio? Wait, can you? Who said no audio? Is that? Listen, Harry, you're on some trolling thing here, man. Right, the people are asking me to block you, Harry. What are we saying, people? Block Harry? I'm just doing up. Listen, I'm just doing up Pontius Pilate. Who would you rather me block, people? Barabbas or Harry Rector? You lot just tell me. Barabbas is a criminal, or should I block Harry? Right, that's the end of the over. Buvy has just bowled a wicket maiden. He's such a skillful bowler. So yeah, Buvy bowls a wicket maiden. West Indies are 42 for 3 at the end of the power play. A reminder that India were 45 for 2 at the end of the power play. So it's not even Stevens, but India are slightly ahead at this stage of the game compared to where the West Indies were. Harry, the people have saved you, man. You're all good. West Indies need 149 runs to win from 84 balls. Sorry, people. I need to try and get this Barbados game on my phone. So give me a second. Right, so hell, if you read or didn't hear about it, but it was interesting that Desmond Haynes in his in the press release after they announced the T20 squad, Desmond Haynes said that Shimron Hetmyer is a world-class finisher, and I found that quite pertinent because I took that to mean what do they now see Hetmyer's role as different in the West Indies team? We shouldn't read too much into this first game, but it's just interesting to me that we've lost 3 wickets and Hetmyer's not yet in. But you also have to remember about T20s that a lot of it is about right hand, left hand matchups, etc. I'm sure they wouldn't have wanted 2 left-handers in at this stage of the game. Anyways, Robin Powell paddles that delivery behind from Hardik. They run through for 1, and West Indies are 44 for 3. Yeah, Orin, I completely agree. In this West Indies team, I would not have Hetmyer as a finisher because there's already so many people who can play that role. Yeah, but anyways, like I say, there's 7 there's 7 T20s after this game. So if the purpose at the end of the T20s versus India and New Zealand is to have an idea of what your best combinations are and who should play where and then that's all the better. So I have no issue with them trying this, that, and the other, as long as they are clear on how they want to use their resources at the end of the T20 games. Listen, yeah, I agree with you. But I agree with you on that. But Powell, at the end of the day, Powell has got better at spin. He's still not perfect, but give him his due. Powell is a much better T20 player than he used to be. So Holder at 1 down again. I'm not mad at it. It is what it is. It didn't work. Oh well. Like, if you're not going to try things in bilateral pointless series, when are you going to try them? So I don't think we should waste too much time worrying about why did they do this or why do they do that. The whole point of these games are all friendlies. They don't actually count for anything other than working out what you want to do. Right. Puran has gone big. Has he got enough? Yes, he has. And he sends Hardik out the ground for a 6. Puran moves to 13, not out off 11 balls. West Indies move to 52 for 3. They have taken 10 off Hardik's first over. Right. Leach Dean says, is Santoki married? What are you saying? You're trying to move to him? What are you saying, Leach? You want a piece of Santoki, yeah? I'll ring him right now, you know. What are you saying? Is that a wide ball? Puran pulls out of the shot, and it is not called a wide. It's not called a wide. 10 runs off that over. West Indies 52 for 3 after 7 overs. Right. I got distracted again and forgot I was trying to look at trying to find this thing. You lot distract me, man. Do you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this Barbados game on here. Hopefully it doesn't. I should have done this on my iPad, you know. BBC iPlayer. Where can I find this Barbados game? Whoever's watching the Barbados game, you might have to give me updates because I'm trying to find it on my laptop. I can't even find the game. All I can see is cycling. Oh, here it is. Pakistan versus Barbados. Okay. Okay. Let me play this. See, and then let me mute it. Right, I've got to mute. Right, so Barbados are right. They're 10-1. Barbados are 10-1 after 1.4 overs. I don't know who got out. Please don't tell me they opened with Deandra. Surely they didn't open with Deandra and Haley. Whoever's watching that game was it Haley and Deandra opening? All I know is Barbados are 10-1. Ah, boy. Who? Look at this now. Leach moving madness. Where's Leach? Santoki isn't a bug. Call him. What? So Leach. Is Leach Harry? Is Leach Harry, but just under a different name? Ah, boy. Anyways, whilst Leach is doing up their madness, so basically the pawn bots must have basically decided to get under the radar by being Leach Dean. People, what do you want me to do? I've got Barabbas on one side, or I've got Leach Dean on the other. Who do you want me to get rid of? Anyways, West Indies are currently 58 for 3. Jadeja is into his second. What the hell? Someone's buzzing my thing. That can't be for me. People, 1 second. 1 second, people. I'm gonna have to come back. Bear with me. I just missed Rodman going for a 6. And I had to put my buzzer on private. So whoever that was, if they buzz again, I'm not even going to hear them. Right, what were you lot saying? Are you saying get rid of Leach or nah? Nah, Leach, man, come. Oh my God, the bell's going now. Which? Right, I missed it, people. Sorry, the person then rang my bell, so I actually had to go. It was a delivery. Right, so back to this match. West Indies 65 for 3 off 8 overs. Ashwin back into his second over. We've still got a chance here. West Indies need 95 runs in 10 overs. Anyway, what did we say about Leach Dean? What are we doing to Leach Dean? We getting rid of Leach Dean or nah? What are we saying? And also, Barbados are 15 for 1 off 2.4 overs. It was Deandra who got out. Oh, has he got him? Has he got him? Puran's out. He's nicked behind. He's not reviewing. And Ashwin has got Puran. Came round the wicket. Puran nicks that behind. West Indies are 66 for 4. Yeah. This game is looking like it might be gone now. 66 for 4. Yeah. West Indies will have to go some to try and win from here. This is looking unlikely at this stage. Mine should be the next one to walk in after Pooran's dismissal. Who's left in the hutch after this? Hetmeyer, Oldine, Smith. Ideally, you don't. What's going on with this thing? Ideally, you don't want Oldine Smith coming in unless it's a chase in the final 5. So it's basically Hetmeyer, Smith, and Paul. Hetmeyer and Powell would have to put in a significant innings here. Do you know what? Hetmeyer does look like he's lost a bit of weight, you know. Either that kit is making him look slim or he has actually lost a bit of weight. So Leach Dean has now gone and been replaced by Forever Brisbane Broncos Smith. Ah, boy. So initially it was Harry Rector, then it was Leach Dean, and now it's Forever Brisbane Broncos Smith. This is what happens when you do these lives, boy. Oh, Ashwin nearly gets him first ball. And Hetmeyer plays that back out. Boy, you know what? I can't bother you now. Listen, I just blocked that user, you know. I can't even bother no more. Like, if you men are going to run jokes, they at least have to be funny jokes. I just have to block these, man. It's long. Hetmeyer gets off the mark, works that one off his pads, and he is off the mark. West Indies are 67 for 4 after 8.5 overs. Yeah, Sanjay, there's a myth that, like, Hetmeyer... Like, the thing is, Sanjay, that what I've worked out about West Indies cricket is your record is always better when you're not in the team. Like, people always think that you're a world beater when you're not in the team, but everybody is basically an average player in essence. So yeah. So the person who is logging in under different names, I've just worked out who that is. I won't call their name, but I have just worked out who it is. Or who I suspect it is. To be honest, Amit, I would be fine with us never playing India again. And it's not about winning or losing. As far as I'm concerned, let India just give us all the money and just never play us again. I've got no issue with it whatsoever. In fact, I'd go even further. Let India, Australia, and England play amongst themselves and just give us money, and we'll never play you lot ever again, and see how much you enjoy cricket when you don't get to play the rest of us. Listen, in a sly way, I agree with Ravi. In a sly way, just because India, England, and Australia have already chopped up the market to play each other anyway. So if they're going to do it like that, just forget the rest of us. Go do their thing, because what they'll eventually realize is any sport, when it chases money the way these teams chase money, will eat itself in the end. And if all they ever do is end up playing each other, the market will eventually reject it. So let them do their thing. Let them do their thing. I ain't got no problem with that whatsoever. In fact, and Hetty cuts that one away for 4. West Indies moved to 71 for 4. Cuts Jadeja down to the boundary. But what I would say I'd go a bit further, and what I would say, and where I think cricket is so outdated, is that cricket should have divisions. Um, Cricket should have divisions, and if they had divisions with promotion and relegation, the game just becomes more relevant in the modern context. This time, Hetty goes the other way and takes out. The man comes into the boundary and he picks up a run. Don't worry, people. I remember I'm still moderator, so I'm just blocking everyone. So it's all good. It's a bit annoying that they're there, but don't worry. I'm getting these men out of here. I think they're all gone. Ooh, that one climbs into Powell a bit. Yeah, so yeah, Orin. So Jared's got some ideas on this for sure. I just think all of the money should be centralized. Yeah. So because the first thing you have to do in world cricket is take away the argument that people don't make money. So we already know that West Indies make no money playing test cricket against teams apart from England and India. So the only way to make, obviously T20 does make money. So forget T20, let's just talk tests and ODIs. We already know that it's a waste of time for West Indies to host teams other than India and England from a financial perspective. So the first thing that world cricket has to do is remove that financial burden. So you create a central pool. Rothman tries to take him out of the ground, gets the under edge for that, and can only get a single. So you create a central pool that allows the smaller teams like West Indies, the Bangladeshis, etc., to play each other without incurring a massive financial loss. And then what I would do after that is you introduce divisions. Cricket is such a outdated sport where people are holding on to tradition. Like I always say, you adapt or die. And Hetty goes after, was that a one bounce four? He goes after Ashwin. I think that was a one bounce four, and he picks up a boundary. No, it's a six. It's a flat six. I thought it was a one bounce four. He picks up a six, and Hetty moves to 12 off 8. Anyway, so yeah, you get my point. Then you create a division system, and I don't care about people saying, "Oh, England should play India," and play who you're good enough to play. So right now, we are not good enough to play India on a regular basis, which is why I hate us playing India so much. We only do it. We basically just wiggle up ourselves to get money when we play India. That's all we're doing. We're just whining on them just to get money off them. But there's no point in us actually playing India because we rarely win. We're not benefiting from it. All we get is licks, and players getting IPL deals. We're not actually benefiting from playing India. I have said for like the last 4 to 5 years, West Indies can't get better unless we play the teams that are around us and learn to win against them on a regular basis, like you would do in any other sport where you play in a lower division and then you hold a promotion once you've become a better side. But cricket is determined to hold on to this tradition thing. They don't really want to grow the game. They don't really want innovative ideas. So yeah, now Chatil, England not touring West Indies is only a problem because England are as dreadful as us. So how I find it rich that England feel they don't have to tour us when we're better than them. Anyways, Rodman works off his pads and they run through for one. West Indies are actually going at just under 8s and over. So it's not like they're bad here, but it's not going to be enough to challenge the total. I mean, you don't need to feel sorry for us because once upon a time, India were useless and we used to hand out licks to India on a regular. So listen, the game is cyclical. There will, hit my nearly nicks behind. There will come a point in time again where India will be dreadful. And don't worry, we won't be tweeting, we won't be messaging you like you're messaging us. We won't be saying, oh, once upon a time you used to be good and you had Virat Kohli and now look, you got next man. The game's cyclical, man. Pride comes before the fall, you know? Anyways, I should update this score. I always love how these people try to do that. Oh, woe is the West Indies. They used to be so good. When you, man, go undefeated for 15 years against every single team in the world, then come chat to us about, oh, it's so bad to see how the West Indies have gone. I'm yet to see any team, Australia's the only one who've come close, have the level of dominance we have. So you know what? I don't care how weak we are. We did something no other team has ever done. So hold your little peace and hush in it. Hold him. Ishnoy comes into the attack, and probably predictably, Powell can't deal with it, and he's got to go. West Indies are 85, 82 for 5, and this game should be ending in the next, 6 overs or so, if it's not already over. Leg spin to Rovman Powell, done him. Yeah, Orin, I don't think India will be dreadful again, but the difference is we still managed to win World Cups and they haven't. I always say to people, even at West Indies' worst, this is the worst we've ever been between the year 2000 to 2022, and even in that time, we've still won 3 global titles. So we've won a Champions Trophy and 2 T20 World Cups. Even at our worst, we've done more than other sides. Imagine there's some teams who are at their best and they still can't win nothing. So you know what? I'm cool, I'm cool. No, not in the past, Amit. I just said a Champions Trophy and 2 T20 World Cups. Those things have happened inside the last 18 years. We won a competition in 2016. So, okay, my friend. Oh, that's a beautiful delivery from Bishnoi. Hussein just lucky not to get an edge on that. It's 82 for 5 after 11.2 overs. India are taking this one. The question is just by how many runs India will win this. I reckon by 50 they should win this one. Yeah, they could have sent Smith, but they probably haven't because they're still hoping that Hussein and Hetmeyer can get this close enough for Smith to come in and do his 6 hitting thing. But I think that's pretty forlorn. That one was a wide ball, but Hussein's able to work that out to the man on the boundary and they run through for 1. West Indies at 83 for 5. If you haven't pressed like whilst being on this video, please do so. Helps grow the podcast and all of that. So do please do all of that, people. Hetmeyer plays this one down to the man on the boundary as well, and he runs through for another single. Indeed, indeed. Where are we at with this? Let's look at Barbados. So Barbados are 37 for 1 after 5.5 overs in their T20. Barbados basically have to win this game. If they don't win this game, they're not going to get out of the group. Even if they win this game, they might not get out of the group. Hayley Matthews is on 14 from 14. Casey Knight is on 10 from 17. Worth pointing out that Pakistan won the toss. So Barbados are 38 for 1 after the power play. Looks like Deandra went for one big shot too many before she got out. And Hetty has gone. Has he gone? What happened there? No, he hasn't gone. he's lucky not to go. Bishnoi's absolutely done him. But it's neither a stumping nor a bowl. Hetty survives. I thought it was out. All I saw was Hetty on the floor and the keeper take the bails off. So I assumed Hetty was out of his crease, but he wasn't. It was just a beautiful delivery. It was just a beautiful delivery, and yeah, Hetmeyer's just lucky to survive that one, I guess. Anyways, Ashwin back into the attack. West Indies 85 for 5 from 12 overs. Something superhuman would have to take place from here for West Indies to have any chance at this game. I feel like ever since Akil Hussain said he's trying to be an all-rounder, that he's been struggling at international level to showcase that in recent times. Obviously, he had that score in, was it Pakistan? He had that good innings. Was it in Pakistan? I think he had a good innings recently, but other than that, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot has been coming from Akil recently. Hetmeyer backs onto his leg stump, tries to cut it past the man, can't. No run. Yeah, Orin, thank you. I just tried to give the facts, It wasn't about trying to say that Phil should or shouldn't go. It was just about saying, well, here's the information. And Hetty goes inside out for that one and is out. Finds the man on the boundary. West Indies at 86 for 6. Hetty goes for 14. Ashwin takes his second wicket. As I said, this game should be over within the next 3 to 4 overs. Odean Smith might as well come out now and just try hit some sixes. After this defeat, everyone's going to say Phil Simmons needs to go. Is he gonna? Every defeat, same thing. Phil Simmons needs to go. This is a disgrace. We lost by over 85 runs. He's not gonna. It's so predictable. Like, oh God, like it. Sometimes, right? You just take an L. Just take the L and move on. This is like, it's an L, isn't it? Just take the L. I don't know, like, because we're so terrible, I don't know how we got to a stage where people just look to someone to blame for it being terrible. You would have thought that after 22 years of being terrible, everyone would just accept it now and be like, well, boy, I saw it go. Anyways, Odean Smith comes in. This is what I'm saying, Sanjay. Like, whenever I watch a West Indies match, I start with the assumption that an L is coming. Like, this is how you heal. Assume that an L is coming and that anything other than an L is time for bacchanal and liming. As a fan, not as a player. I'm not saying the player should accept an L. I'm just saying, as a fan, I accept that the L is the most likely circumstance and outcome for every single game. Anyways, Bishnoi is back on. He's going to take a wicket in this over. Smith might as well hit a couple sixes before he gets out. Sick of playing India, you know. I'm tired of playing them. Just drop off the money and go about your business. Tired of playing this team, you know. Yeah, it's a beautiful delivery that got Rovman from Bishnoi. No, I'm not angry with them. I'm just saying I'm tired of playing them. Like, if you were in our position and you had to play India and you just know you're just taking pure L after L after L, after a while you're just like, out. Oh my God. You see that? You see that from Odin? Bishnoi celebrated, but I don't even know if he should celebrate. That was so dunce. I don't even know if that's really a celebration. So Bishnoi bowls a wide ball. Odin runs straight past the ball. And who's the wicket keeper? Is it Samson? He just stands there and does, you know, them ones where like you go to the goal line and you wait for the defender to come and then you just tap it in. He does that to Odin Smith. That was some dunce cricket. Anyway, so Odin Smith lasted 2 balls, gone. I'm about to lock off this live, you know. About to lock this off. I can't even update the score. Pure licks coming. I can't. Dunce cricket. Dunce. You see, it's a dunce cricket, man. It's when I see dunce cricket like that. That's why when people say this is Phil's fault, when I see dunce stuff like that, I'm like, what is a coach supposed to do with things like that? How do you stop a player doing things like that? Don't get me wrong, Odin's in a no-win situation, but come on. Anyways, West Indies 86 for 7 after 14 overs. Bishnoi's bowling to West Indies like he's bowling to me. Anyways, Chemo gets down on one knee and paddles that for 1. West Indies need 104 to win off 38 balls. This game is still in the balance. Yeah, 100%. Dash them man on the ferry. Make sure a couple of them get seasick. Sorry, people. I just updated Twitter. I forgot I was even doing this live. Anyways, Bushnell just bowled a no ball. Let's see if Hussein can do something with this free hit. And he's bowled a wide. He's going to have to reload that no ball delivery again. I can't blame the pitch now or any West Indies fans. And where does Akil hit that? He hits it for 6. Well done, Akil. West Indies moved to 95 for 7. The 100 is in reach. The thing is, buddy, okay, thing is, your argument's a bit false here because the pitch was blamed in Guyana because the pitch was terrible. This doesn't invalidate the fact that the pitches in Guyana were terrible. Remember, if the pitches in Guyana weren't terrible, you wouldn't have had the opposition captain in Tamim Iqbal also saying the pitches were dreadful and worse than what you would experience in Bangladesh. So the pitches were dreadful. Okay. In terms of it's not about any West Indies fans, yeah, but I don't see what that's got to do anything. The point is this, buddy. We aren't good. We just aren't good. And I don't understand, though, why my thing is I've accepted that. So it's not about you saying to me who you're going to blame this time. It's actually me saying to you and other people who have those arguments of why can't you accept that we're not very good? And what I find quite interesting as well is before the 2021 World Cup, everyone was saying we should have taken Odin Smith to the 2021 World Cup. We should have taken Romario Shepherd to the 2021 World Cup. And I was one of the few people, and Santoki, saying that's not going to make any difference. Now we've got rid of all of the GOATs who everybody wanted out of the side. Big Bravo, Gale, Russell, Pollard, da-da-da-da-da. Now you're seeing the reality. Like, I think, and I'm just talking T20 format here. We had a GOAT generation and we didn't appreciate that we had a GOAT generation in 2020 cricket. They brought us 2 World Cups. No other team in world cricket has 2 T20 World Cups. Our GOAT generation gave us that, and we underappreciated that. Now we have to deal with the fact that, similar to how the current Test team has to live under the shadow of the 15-year dominant franchise side, our current T20 side now has to live under the shadows of the fact that we used to have a GOAT generation in T20 cricket. So my thing is, I've come to terms with that. I've come to terms with we're now just an average T20 side. So performances like this will be the norm because really and truly, who have we got that are world beaters in T20 cricket? World beaters. Puran, not even Puran, because he hasn't really proved it like that. Hetmeyer hasn't really proved it like that. We were fortunate that we had, let me call 5 names: Chris Gale, world beater; Dre Russ, world beater; Pollard, world beater; DJ Bravo, world beater; Sunil Narain, world beater. We don't have them type of man no more. So I'm not actually blaming anyone or saying it's because of this, it's because of saying it's because of that. What I'm saying is I've accepted the reality. Test cricket, we're average. ODI cricket, we're dreadful. T20 cricket, we're somewhere between dreadful and average. I've accepted that. How comes other West Indian fans can't accept that? That's the reality. But I think some people, and I'm not saying it's you, buddy, but I'm saying that some people still look at the name West Indies and thinks that and believe that that means something. And when I say mean something, I mean in the sense of being a great. It's like looking at Manchester United now or Arsenal and saying they're big sides. No, they're not. They once were, but in their current iteration and in their current dynamic, they're an average side. But for some reason, people can't make that correlation with the West Indies. And it's almost like it hurts people to admit that we're basically not very good. That's me still. That's me. So that's why I'm saying to you lot, I always start with the L first. I expect the L first, and then I wait to see if we can do anything other than the L. So you see how see how you lot got me started. So you see how in Test cricket, I've seen some recent green shoots. The performances versus England, recent green shoots. The dominance versus Bangladesh, good to see. But that doesn't mean that when we go to Australia, we're going to compete. Australia are going to lick us down when we turn up there in December. But that's cool. That's cool because I understand the reality that we can't compete against Australia in Australia. We must take the licks because any kind of improvement that West Indies have will always be incremental little piecemeal improvements, and it's about tiny building blocks that you can build. I think if everybody accepted it, they'd understand and say, really and truly, in Test cricket, we're about as good as I'm going to say Sri Lanka. That doesn't mean we're good enough to go to Sri Lanka and beat them, no. But what I mean is, like, Sri Lanka will beat teams at home. We might beat a few teams at home. But generally speaking, Sri Lanka will go away and lose, and we'll go away and lose. So I'd say in Test cricket, we're about someone kind of like Sri Lanka. In ODI cricket, we are somewhere between the Netherlands and Ireland. And in T20 cricket, we are who are one of the rubbish T20 sides, full member sides? In T20 cricket, we're definitely above Bangladesh. So we're probably around Sri Lanka again? So I think if people just kind of accepted that, I think they'd come to terms. I think they'd come to terms with things a lot easier. See, I stressed out YouTube so much, the sex people came. But interestingly, I think, and Javid, I think, where is it? Javid, I think you put this on the, I think you put this on our Facebook page. Was it today or yesterday? Where Carl Mayers made that point about after the ODI series, where he was like, some of these Indian players will play hundreds of games in, like, I don't know if he said like in a year or something. He was like, I won't even play 100 games in like 3 years. So, like, everyone's always like, oh, West Indies has the raw talent. Yeah, but we don't have the production resources to harness that talent. We just got some raw talent, and that's it. And I think, as Jimmy said, Jimmy put it best in episode what was it, 68 or 69 of the podcast. Who are our world class, like, forget bowlers, although we could talk about bowlers, who are our world class batters? Who actually are they? In Test cricket, no one. In ODIs, Shea Hope. In T20s, no one. So, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it just kind of is what it is. Anyways, that notwithstanding, do I think we'll win a T20 against India? Yes, I think we'll win one of these matches, maybe two at a push. So if we lose this series 4-1 or 3-2, yeah, I think that's about right. They've got no idea against Bishnoi. Absolutely no idea. Can't blame them though. Yeah, Sunil, this is one of the points I was making earlier on. Chemo, don't know what he's doing out there, you know. If you look at the squad we had, in that squad we have Jason Holder, Aldine Smith, Romario Shepherd, Chemo, Paul, Dominic Drakes. That's 5 players who all do the same thing. Like, come on, what type of squad selection is that? That don't make no sense to me whatsoever. Sorry, want your gal. I said 3-2. That's like me being optimistic. I think 4-1 though. I think we can win a game against India. So Chemo hasn't reached any of these balls from Bishop. He don't know what's going on out there. Anyways, Samson just stumped him, but I don't know if Chemo got back. I don't know if Chemo got back in time to avoid that stumping. Have they given him out? They've taken it up to the third umpire. I think Chemo should be in there, but we shall see. He's out. He's going to be out. He's in. He's in. Yep, he got him. Anyways, Barbados are 64 for 1 after 10.5 overs. Do you know what I love though? So that game started at 6 o'clock, and after 49 minutes, they're already starting the 12th over. This is why I love the women's game with T20s. They don't waste all of this time doing foolishness. Was that given a wide then? Okay, so wide, 99 for 7. I don't actually know why I'm still watching. I guess I just got to see it through to the end. Yep, and another ball by Bishnoi. Chemo gets nowhere near it. That over, or this over, Chemo, it's been 4 dots and a wide. Chemo's got nowhere near any ball from Bishnoi. I think Chemo literally has no idea what Bishnoi is bowling. I feel for him still. Listen, one Chigal, exactly like yeah, basically. Orin, no, not Orin, Sunil, sorry. Yeah, I think out of all of them, I would trust Chemo to bowl at the death more than I'd trust Romario Shepherd, and probably more than I'd trust Jason Holder, if I'm honest. But so that I understand Chemo. Oh, is Chemo stumped here? Was his foot out of the crease? Hold on. No, that's behind the line. That's fine. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I think Chemo's a better death bowler than all of those three. But whether he can get in the side for anything else. But then this goes back to that point about what are we selecting players for? Like it's people have got to be given clearly defined roles. So you're not in as a bits and pieces person who can bat a bit and bowl a bit. What's your specific role that you're in the side for? So is Chemo in the side to definitively bowl? If he is, why is he only bowling 2 overs in a match? If that makes sense. Like, what's he in the side to do? And I just sometimes I worry about our role allocation to players. And the next ball from Bishnoi, Chemo gets nowhere near that one either. Bishnoi's about to bowl a maiden. Well, he's bowled a wide, but basically this over has been ridiculous to watch. Chemo has literally got nowhere near anything in this match, in this over, sorry, I should say. Now he does, however, get onto the last ball and he's able to run 1 run, which puts him back on strike. I'm sure Akio Hussain is happy about that. Barbados, in the meantime, are 71 for 1 after 11.2 overs. Casey Knight is on 21 off 31. Hayley Matthews on 32. That's a full toss. Or 32 off 32. Supernova. West Indies have been battered and manhandled for 20 years. We could never be arrogant, 100%. Arrogant about what? But what I will say, Supernova, is when we do win and when we clown on people, believe, like when we beat England in the Test series this year. You better believe I was chatting with big chest and big chat. And the thing is, that's because we rarely win anything. So of course, when we actually do win, I fully clown on everybody because I know it might be a long time before we win again. So we have to cash in when we can. Difference is Chatil Chemo's coming back from injury, so he has mitigating factors. He's been out of the game for 2 years. I would trust Chemo to bowl better at the death. Simple. Anyways, Arshdeep back into the attack, bowls a good Yorker, and Chemo plays that back out. West Indies have reached 100, by the way. They're 100 for 7 with 4 overs to go. We need 91 of the last 23 balls. This game is finally in the balance. Yeah, I think everyone's going to get a go. Everyone in the squad's going to get a go in this series. It's a and I think that's the other thing that, like I said earlier, people have to understand that these are friendlies. There's no points on the line. It counts for nothing. If at the end of this 5-match series, West Indies are closer to understanding who is worth taking to the World Cup and who isn't worth taking to the World Cup, then the 5-match series has served its purpose. So I don't think people need to get too hung up on wins and losses. Yes, they matter, but I don't think people should get too hung up on them. Fantastic Yorker. Akil can do nothing about that, and it's 101 for 8. So that's 101 for 8. The good news is this match will be over soon. We can all go about our business. Thanks. India have bowled really well, though. They've done everything that West Indies didn't in terms of bowling well. And more, not when I say bowling well, I mean accurate. Like the majority of the Indian bowlers have forced the West Indian batters to actually have to play. Think about how many wide off stump nonsense that was bowled by the West Indies when India went to bat. West Indies are playing New Zealand in 3 T20s and 3 ODIs. Chatil, I don't see. I mean, they've said that this squad is the squad for India and New Zealand. So what you have to ask yourself is there Alzari's coming? Is there anyone who, if they put in a good performance in CPL, could come in? Evan Lewis is an outside shot. I doubt it, but Evan Lewis, obviously. Sheldon Cottrell, Fabian Allen. They're the first 3 names you'd have to think about. Gudakesh Multi is a possibility as well. It's a 4th name. Who else could get a shot? Ruston Chase, outside possibility if they're thinking about an off spinner. The thing is, one thing though that I've realized is that when you think about a lot of the West Indian players, and particularly the ones who pick up like the franchise deals, particularly the batters, all of the batters who pick up franchise deals are used in some kind of, maybe not Puram, but they're kind of used in finishing roles. And I've always said that with the West Indies, it's kind of unique because you then have to try and put these players into a West Indies team when all of them are pretty much used for the same role in their franchises. Okay, so Rutherford, in any normal circumstance, if Shafane Rutherford actually cared about representing West Indies, I'd call his name. I don't think he cares. If Dre Russ had wanted to play in the World Cup, he would have made himself, maybe has made himself favourable. For all I know, a conversation has taken place with Dre Russ. Sorry, my throat. For all I know, a conversation has taken place with Dre Russ, and they've decided that they're moving on from him because I find it weird. And I haven't even been able to ask Desmond Haynes about it because there's been no press conferences with Desmond Haynes since the last time. It's probably my fault that there's been no press conferences with Desmond Haynes, because the last time there was a press conference with Desmond Haynes was when I asked him the question about Evan Lewis. All now, I ain't seen Desmond Haynes comes back to it. All now, I haven't seen Desmond Haynes with Andre Russell then, because no one's asked him. No one's asked him about Andre Russell, so I don't know. Anyways, Jadeja back into the attack. India have killed us with the spin, predictably. Orin, do you think a big part of the 99.94 pod is educating people? I hope so. That's what, you know what I'm like. That's what I'll be doing anyway. And speaking to the people in the region about it. I mean, my thing is, I feel like Barbados at 86 for 1, by the way, off 13.2 overs. Is that a 4? No, it's a 1. I feel like some of our most important episodes with the Caribbean Cricket Podcast have been like when we got Kishore Shallow on, when we got Ricky Skerritt on, Jimmy Adams on, Pollard's one. Just take those 4 as an example, because I feel like with those 4 episodes, they would have taught people. Taught's probably the wrong word. I don't know what that was from Alzari. They would have shown people a bit behind the curtain about the reality of what it means to run West Indies cricket, and the reality for why certain things do and don't happen in West Indies cricket. But this is how you know that Caribbean Cricket Podcast doesn't have the audience that some of you might think it does, because I'm fairly certain that there aren't as many people listening to it as you might think there are, because we've had enough people on the show now who know what they're talking about to kind of show the Caribbean or West Indies audience that, listen, the problems in the region are deeper than you realize. But I don't know, man. I don't know how you change the mindset of people, you know? Well, change is the wrong phrase, but I don't know how you help people see things in context, I guess. I'm convinced that West Indies will never be good again in my lifetime. I've come to terms with that. I don't think they'll ever be good again in as long as I live. Sorry, Buddy, let me answer that. No, Buddy, sorry, you missed my point. Sorry, 1 second. Where is it? Where's Buddy's point gone? Yeah, I think Dre does care. But here's the thing, Buddy. I think Dre cares, but we have to be careful about how we use the term care. I think Dre cares about representing West Indies, but he only wants to represent West Indies on his terms. That doesn't mean that he's it's well bowled. Strikes the pads and goes out for a single. That doesn't mean that Dre doesn't want to represent West Indies. But as a player, you can't. Well, you can, because player power, but you can't pick and choose when you will and won't represent the West Indies, for want of a better explanation. And I just feel with Dre that Dre will tell us when he wants to play for the West Indies. And I don't think he's met West Indies halfway enough to accept that, sometimes, Dre, if we call you, just come and play in it. And do you remember that time when when was it? Was it 2020 or 2021? It was 2020. We were supposed to go to New Zealand, or we did go to New Zealand, and Dre said that he didn't want to go to New Zealand because of bubble fatigue. So he didn't go, and the West Indies didn't call him. 2-2s. Dre then travels to Sri Lanka to play T20 cricket in their franchise league. Like, come on. And I'm one of Dre's biggest fans. I think I would, if Dre suddenly said tomorrow he wants to play World Cup, I'd probably still say come into the team because of the talent upside that he has. But come on, come on, them things there. How many times are you going to pull antics like that and then just expect West Indies to keep turning a blind eye to it? Do you see what I mean? So it can't always be on the players' terms. And I think the majority of players since Ricky Skerritt and Kishore Shallow took over Cricket West Indies have tried to meet Cricket West Indies halfway, like all the ones who are in T20 demand. But there's just a few players where it seems to be my way or the highway. And I feel like with Dre, he's possibly in that crowd. And I feel like with Evan, I think Evan's in that crowd as well. I think Shafane Rutherford is in that crowd where actually, and Pollard kind of hinted at it in the podcast episode he did with us, like the players have never had it this good in terms of relationship with the board. Like, I think people forget how toxic it was under Dave Cameron. So the players have never had it this good in terms of relationship with the board, and yet still there's some choosing to have a fight down with the board instead. Like, come on, man. Nothing's ever straightforward in West Indies cricket. Predictions for England, South Africa. It's T20. No point in predicting it. Anybody could do anything. Look at the first two games. Bangladesh, Zim. I'm supporting Zimbabwe for that. Right. Barbados are 100 for 1 off 15 overs. I think they're going to beat Pakistan, you know. I think they could take this. Casey Knight, 34 off 42. Hayley Matthews, 45 off 43. Big up Barbados. Come on, girls. You can do this. Possibly, but I think we would have lost anyways. If it's a final over, thank God. West Indies need 80 runs off 6 balls. I don't know, yo. I think like even if we'd chosen to bat, like you have to put respect on India's name here. Like they've bowled superbly. So if they'd bowled this good, we wouldn't have made 190. Do you see what I mean? So I don't think the toss is irrelevant. Chatil, I've been told that it's going to be the same TV broadcast channels, but I'll believe that when I see it. Anyways, Kemo Paul hits that ball for a 4. And he moves to 13 off 19. West Indies are 115 for 8. At least we're going to bat out the 20 overs, maybe. And then Chemo takes that for a out. No, 4. He gets another 4. I thought he was going to get caught on the long leg boundary, but he gets another 4. Chemo moves to 17. West Indies move to 119 for 8. See, what I find funny is like Chemo goes after that one as well, gets an inside edge, and can only pick up 1 for that one. So Alzari Joseph will face the last 3 balls unless he gets a boundary. I'm sorry, unless he gets a single. What I find interesting is we've been criticized by some people particularly on Twitter, that we're anti-Bayesian. I've always said that's nonsense. Listen, I'm all for the Barbados women winning these matches in the Commonwealth Games. You know, this is what I'm saying. I'm going on Wednesday to watch Barbados versus India. Like, would I have liked Jamaica to have been here representing? Yes, but of course I'm going to support the next best thing. If Barbados are here representing the region, then I must go and rally with the Barbadians, you know, and hope they win. So I'll be there on Wednesday in Birmingham watching Barbados versus India, and and rallying around them to hope that they can pull off a victory. So big up Barbados women. Let's hope they do the region proud, you know. Alzari goes after that, gets, oh no, Keema, sorry, I missed Alzari taking that for single. So we are down to the final ball, thank God. Yeah. Can't even put this up, it's not letting me. Is it letting me? Yeah, Barbados are representing the whole region, so we're all Bayesian, 100%. Casey's struggling, but you know what, Orin? Casey always struggles. Final ball, dot. Thankfully, mercifully, this game is over. West Indies end on 122 for 8. We bat out the 20 overs. Big success. India win by 68 runs. How do you chop that one up? How do you chop that one up? India were put into bat. The bowling was trash on the whole. They took us apart from Machel and Obed McCoy. Basically, everybody bowled trash. Whether that be Jason, Alzari, Oldine, Chemo. There'll be arguments about whether we should have played another spinner. Yes, we could have played Hayden Walsh, but people are acting like he isn't a licks machine as well. So I don't know what overall difference that would have made. The reality is West Indies didn't bowl well. And India punished us for not bowling with enough control first up. And then when we came to bat, Carl Mayers got us off to a flyer. But the reality is once India brought on those spinners, Jadeja, Ashwin, Bishnoi, who else got a bowl? Those three. They killed us. And of course, the seamers did their job as well. Bhuvi, Arshdeep Singh. So listen, we got dominated. The conclusion is we got dominated. We go 1-0 down in the series. Does this mean that there should be huge ramifications? No, we just got dominated. Sometimes you get dominated. And we got dominated today. Let's see if we can come correct in the games in Florida. But as Sanjay correctly points out, thank God that's over. Now we can all go and enjoy our lives and not have these men ruin our day for much longer. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone who tuned in to the live. Let me just find my diary. Let me just find my diary. When is this next game? Next game is on Saturday. I don't think there'll be a live. No, not Saturday. When is it? When's the next game, people? Monday. I might do a live stream for that one, people. I might do a live stream because I am free. And then the final. Oh, Monday and Tuesday. Wait, what? So they're not on. They're not even on the weekend. Anyway, so Monday and Tuesday. So I might do a live stream for those games. Obviously, stay locked in, people. You know that I always put the links out there and so on and so forth. Good to chat with everyone as usual. And I implore everyone to go watch from this game. Go rally round Barbados women. They are 106 for 1. I think that's my screen's gone blurry. I think that's off 16 overs. So yeah, it's 108. Haley's just run 2 on that ball. So Barbados women are 108 for 1 at the start of the 17th over. So everyone go rally round Barbados women. Don't go on the Facebook groups. Let's go and celebrate them. They're representing us in the region. Let's hope they can get off to a good start against Pakistan. You know where we are on Twitter. You know where we are on Instagram. You know where we are on Facebook. Yeah, big up yourselves, people, and see you on Monday for the next T20. Peace.
We rule the cricket world. Now the rule seems coming.
Welcome to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things West Indies cricket. By the fans, for the fans.